we look at OPG's org design process to support these business transformations, starting from when the business defined the KPIs and targets to the different stakeholders that are involved in the process, whether you have HR business partners, HR managers, or managers, to building the blueprint of the future organization, to implementing the change back in your HRIS system. How does this work at OPG? If you can, maybe a question for Claudia, if you can give us a high-level overview of the organizational design process used at OPG.
Sure, absolutely. So for our larger org changes, typically executive leadership defines how the org structure needs to align with our business objectives. And then for smaller day-to-day org changes, line leaders consult with HR and discuss the proposed changes they want to make to understand any impacts either on our org design principles that we've established and or our collective agreements. So after that is defined on what the change needs to be, the HR business partner using Hanelly prepares a scenario to reflect the changes. They meet with our finance group. Finance is a key stakeholder in our org change process. So they meet with finance to discuss the desired end state and understand any financial implications. So because our positions and orgs contain financial data, it's important that the data is set up correctly from the outset during an org change. Otherwise, many downstream systems are impacted, and then trying to go back to change that is not ultimate. So after meeting with HR to understand the requirements, finance fills out an Excel spreadsheet detailing the org changes. That is then sent back to HR, who then sends up the marked up org and spreadsheet to our payroll group for processing in SAP, which is our HR system. Oftentimes we have back and forth between pay, HR, and finance to understand if there's any, if they can't understand what the change is supposed to be. So there's some back and forth that's involved. And then once pay has completed their inputs, they notify both HR and finance that the changes are completed. So depending on the size and the scale of the org change, we do have other key stakeholders that may be involved in the process. So I do am part of job evaluation. So sometimes when we're contemplating some enterprise-wide, we have to look at perhaps creating new jobs or revising jobs. And then compensation is sometimes pulled in as well, because if we have to consider a new job and then make sure they align with the compensation structure. We have a codes and standards group, and that is all part of, because we run nuclear plants, it's part of our nuclear managed system governance that they're involved if there's any org changes impacting nuclear organizations. And then also change management. Again, if the org change is quite substantive in nature, then our change management group helps to make sure that all parties and processes are covered off. So all in all, the process can take up to 38 days to complete for an org change.